Welcome to the Acts of Faith podcast. We're your host. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Shannon. We know how hard it can be to step out in faith and do what God is asking of you. There are so many challenges that we can face and can hold us back from walking in God's plan.
We want to encourage you to take that step of faith. Here, we will share stories big and small in hopes of inspiring you to answer your call. Today on the podcast, Sandra Crumbley joins us. She is a wife, a mother, a women's ministry coach, and so much more. She shares how God asked her and her husband to sell their dream home. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Acts of Faith podcast. We have Sandra Crumbley here today. She is a special friend, near and dear to our hearts. She leads and is a head coach at Beautiful Moms Ministry at Grace Family Church, and we are excited to have her share with us today how God has asked her to step out in faith. Sandra, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, your kids, where you're at in life.
Hi, guys. I'm Sandra. I've had the privilege of knowing these two ladies here for a handful of years. I mean, the fact that you guys are sitting here doing this, it's just like,
hilarious.
that is an act of faith. I'm just like, it's an honor being here and just like, it's just rewarding being here and seeing you guys step out like this. So, anyways, I am a mom married to my hubby JJ. We're about to celebrate our 11th anniversary, which is kind of crazy.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks. And then I'm a proud mom of 3. I have Emma, who's 7, Landon, who's about to turn 6, and Delaney, who is 3. And Shannon, I know we were just talking, I'm actually starting to enjoy motherhood.
Yes. Yeah.
And that sounds awful to hear, but I was like, most women just going shopping to the grocery store, I'm like, no, I want to be alone. And now I'm in that season where I'm like, hey, Ems, you want to come shopping with me? So that says a lot. I'm really starting to enjoy it, just hanging out with them, doing the fun things. So I'm
Yes.
stepping into that season, and it's like really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, your last one turning, like I said, 4 is a milestone. Your whole life changes. Motherhood just, for me too, just got exponentially more enjoyable.
Yeah.
You thrive. It's fun. They're fun
It
now.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, Sandra, tell us about a time when God has asked you to step out in faith.
oh my gosh, I feel like this is all the time. It's all the time. Like sometimes it's throughout the day of like even just a random person at the grocery store or goodness. I just feel like when first became a new believer, it's easy. I feel like I'm a little bit more disciplined in being spirit led of like, just stepping out in faith. But as I look back, even when I was a little fresh believer, like almost 15 years ago, I remember being in my first small group, showing up my first small group, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I hope they do not call on me. Like, I'm so scared. Do not do that. I mean, but if you think about it, that's acts of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Your first small group.
Mm-hmm.
Going to our first beautiful conference, that was scary, y'all. I didn't have like that big community that I have now. Like it's little things. Like I'm learning that like as I'm looking back, acts of faith isn't as you're this devoted believer for 15 years. Like acts of faith is a daily thing that it's really based on those little callings, a little conviction and obedience that follows that.
Mm-hmm.
But so I look back at these and, it's been the last few years, it's been, always there's acts of faith here and there, but there's some big acts of faith that God has called me to the last few years. And, it's always pressed by conviction. It's never my doing or my thoughts because a lot of times God will put something in there and I'm like, oh, no, 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 I am not doing that. And, some of the ones that come to mind was transitioning to be a stay-at-home mom. or at natural home birth, or homeschooling, leading in women's ministry. Like it was just, and our most recent one was just like giving up our house. So I just look at these and it's really just based on conviction and obedience to that. And a lot of them were made after doing a 21-day prayer fast. A lot of those big ones were known after that. So the one that I'm going to talk about with our home, um, I feel like the conviction started after 21-day prayers. And like, if you've ever done that, you guys know the movement. Yes, there's movement in God, but like, there's something very, very powerful about those 21 days. I just feel like it keeps you grounded and centered. And like this particular 21 days of prayer, we weren't praying for stuff specific. It's really always about drawing us closer to Him, drawing our kids. Like it's all about all that stuff. So like we left the 21 days of prayer that January. Um, and it wasn't like this aha moment afterwards or anything like that. But I will say with that, keep in mind if you're going to do any type of prayer of anything, you can't pray about change and not expect change to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we know now, like once we are like doing those 21 days, we're always like, all right, Lord, what do you want from us? Because that's where homeschooling came, was after like the stay at home mom, all of that, like those big ones these last few years literally was based on devoted prayer time and like being consistent in seeking the Lord. So after this one, we're like, all right, God, let's see what you have. And like, again, those 21 days, it wasn't like an aha moment, like right after. But I did notice afterwards, there was like these little discernment of not feeling content in my home, which was really strange. So strange because honestly, I don't mean to say this in a way, but it's my dream home. We were there. It's a beautiful lake home. I mean, it's everything I've ever wanted. That little nook view looking out to the lake, like honestly, that was my truly dream home. So like I'm living there. It's such a blessing of a home. Like I've had all my babies in there. Like so this little conviction of like giving up the house started to like go into my head and I'm like, this is from the enemy. I'm like, no, get out of here. I'm like, I immediately was just like, this isn't from God. So I'm like rebuking everything in the house. I'm like, no, you're not going to get in my mind. You're not going to like take away my joy, all the things. But like throughout the months, like I kept on talking to JJ and we would pray about it. And we're just like, what is this? Like, get out of here. And you guys are going to laugh. As months go on, do you guys remember Hurricane Milton?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to forget. I mean,
Yeah.
we're true Floridians, and there was like a sense that just felt different. Like we never
Yes.
evacuated for a hurricane, but me and JJ were just like, I think we need to leave. So we ended up evacuating and we went to Panama. And it was there in Panama that it was so aligned with God's we felt the Holy Spirit like no other, both of us, that we're supposed to give up our house. It was right then and there. So God knew we couldn't make a decision. He had to send a hurricane for us to actually follow through with this obedience.
Yeah.
It literally took a hurricane, but so we knew right then and there, we're like, all right, well, the conviction's there, so what are we going to do about it? So we made that decision. It's time to put the house on the market.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so crazy because at first you're thinking in your mind that it's the enemy because you're like, oh, this is our dream house. We feel so, comfortable here. We love it here. And then all these like thoughts are coming in like you don't feel that way anymore. And you're thinking it's the enemy, but really
Mm,
it's God getting your heart ready for this move.
yeah. It was very confusing and it took months to uncover that.
Yeah.
Like months of a little bit of conviction there and a little bit of that. But even in the midst of a hurricane, God is so good to really know what his will is for us, he'll pursue us anyways. And it took a hurt, but we were obedient in that. So we were like, okay, I guess we're selling the house.
Yeah. But it's such a good reminder to us that just because we're in something that's good and we're enjoying and feels right, it doesn't always mean that it's still what God has planned for us in the future, that we
Mm-hmm.
have to be diligent and prayerful and seeking Him in order to make sure that's still the plan that He has for
Mm-hmm.
us, that it's still where He wants us to be. So it's
Yeah.
wonderful that you kept doing that, and I love how God is so patient with us because, it took some time for y'all to get to the point where you're like, "Okay, it is God, it is not
I
the
think this is
enemy."
from God.
Yeah,
It was confusing time. I mean, throughout all of this process, it was
yeah.
very confusing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a good thing it didn't take you years at that prayer fast. I'm so curious about that because I feel like it's really easy to not to just kind of run away from those voices and stuff, but I feel like the prayer fast really anchored you both into like God's vision, and that is just so cool to me. Like,
Mhm.
do you just pray a single prayer each day, like, in order to come to God's
Mhm.
conviction about what
Mhm.
he wants next, or what does that look like?
Well, those prayer fasts, and a lot of people are probably familiar with it. It's from Church of the Highlands, so
Okay.
they do one every January, and I believe it's either July or August. I forget. It's mid-year. We do those sometimes too, but every January we're there. They do it for 21 days solid. I mean, it's a very powerful hour. You show up, you're devoted, you hear a little sermon, and like it's just a way to kickstart your year where your heart is as postured and centered on seeking Jesus. So every year we just get so much out of it. It brings me and JJ together, aligned, but so it aligns us and it just helps me throughout the year to just like trust even my husband
Yeah.
Mhm.
with not only my battles, but, like, what does this conviction look like? Like, is this really from him? And it kinda helps him to be able to step in as a leader to kinda, like, pray about my conviction too, and it just, like, that helps. So, we didn't know it was gonna be brought to this, I'll tell you that, like,
Wow.
just selling our home. I mean, talk about challenges that came with it. It was only the beginning. Giving up our home was only the beginning, and we just that alone, we didn't really understand, but the challenges that came with that was, 1, it took over 100 days to sell our house,
Gosh.
and that was confusing because I feel like when we're convicted,
Mhm.
we usually God makes it known pretty fast, right? So it was like 100 days, I felt like, in the wilderness. I was lamenting to God, just wrestling. Is this my will or is this truly your will? And anybody who sold a house, it's hard, y'all. I had 3 kids to keep the house clean.
It's
You deserve
Keep
a
the house
medal.
clean
No.
for like random showings. I mean,
Yes,
on the weekends, it's open houses. I'm talking, it was such a stressful time.
yes.
But more than that, it was a time where I could really get in my head. I'm like,
Mhm.
Lord, I don't think this is it. Like,
Yeah.
of really just sitting and like questioning,
Mhm.
Lord, I don't know. Like, so I would just come always, me and my husband would always just like pray, shut the door, like, let it be known if you don't want this to be like,
Yes.
and he just like, I guess he knew we needed to truly trust him
Yes.
day by day, surrendering on our knees. Like, I mean, yeah, that was just,
'Cause you feel like whenever God gives you something, sometimes it's like, "Hey, I want you to do this." You're like, "Okay, God, I'm ready," if you are,
yeah.
"Okay, all right, you've said it, let's do it." But it's not yet, like, it takes some time, you're like, "Wait," you start questioning, "Is this really what you want?" It leaves that time for you to doubt, but it's also that time for you to keep trusting that this is the
Oh, yeah.
plan that he has, but it can be confusing, but you're like, "I thought this is what you wanted, and this is what you
Mm-hmm.
said," but here we are 100 days into it, and our house is still on the market,
Yeah.
but you still trust it.
But you still trusted, so you kept moving forward because you kept feeling convicted, or how did you keep pushing forward? Was there a verse that you clung to? Was there
Oh, yeah.
anything that, like, if somebody's experiencing this kind of, low in the middle of a conviction.
Just being grounded, knowing God's timing is always perfect.
Mhm.
So, and when you're following through a conviction, it's honestly a very sacrificial thing. And that I say that it's either going through any type of act of faith and like conviction through, it's always very sacrificial. It's gonna take away either some time or just comfort,
Mhm.
pressing of it. Like it always you're sacrificing something.
Mm.
So I feel like I knew God's timing was going to be perfect. And then I had to take a step back and be like, this isn't about me.
Mhm.
It's about God's timing. And it's about, I felt, the next people that's supposed to be in that house.
Mhm.
And it was about that. Like the right people were in that house. And like this sounds bad, but like I didn't want just anybody to be in that house. Like that was my home. So like we would have like some people and they would just like completely lowball. And I'm just like, that's not the right people. It's not the right people. And like God made it known who the right people were. It was 100 days in, but like we knew. And like it was a beautiful thing where we were able to truly love on them and like all the things. But like during that time, there was definitely Isaiah 40:31 came to mind. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. And it was really just about not being weary and not growing weary in this whole sacrificial act of faith. But and I don't mean to say this, but that was only the beginning too. So we
Mm.
posted it.
Right.
It took 100 days, but like when I say, and I thought that was hard. That was really the only beginning of the
Was just the
story.
iceberg of the tip of what really was like.
Oh Lord, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
because you had once you sell your house, you have to go live somewhere else until you find a new. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about all the other struggles too, the vision, all of it.
Um, Gosh, there was just so much. So we ended up selling our house, and at that time, no, we didn't have anywhere else to go, but we had fantastic in-laws who said you could stay here with us. So we were with our in-laws, and it was a lot longer than we thought it was. I mean, we were with our in-laws for with my in-laws for 6 months. And God loved their heart for even opening up their home to us because we have 3 kids. We come with a lot of baggage.
And they're young too.
We are loud.
Yeah.
They're used to being in their season. I mean, they haven't had kids in their house for years. So it was a wild time. It was that 6 months was a time where I was definitely probably at one of my lowest mentally. Our marriage was at our lowest. Our parenting was at our lowest. It was just a very hard time. And like I was grieving like for months about my home, about my comfort, my space, my sanctuary. And like I talk about lament, like I was lamenting before the Lord, like wrestling and crying and like grieving. And it just didn't make sense. And I was mad and I just didn't understand anything. Um, Rewinding though, I will say whenever we were somebody was closing on our house. We were searching on Zillow for a long time. Those 100 days, we had a while to search. We're like, oh, God will show us something. Well, the week that we were closing on our house, there was nothing, and I'm like, I am so done with this. I'm done. I'm putting Zillow away. I'm just done. We'll just stay at the in-laws for a little bit. But it was that week that our closers were closing on our home, and God just brought us to this property, and we just felt led to go check it out. Um, we checked it out, and it wasn't what I initially thought it would, like, look like. Like, I don't know.
Was it your dream home?
No, it was not my dream home at all. I was just like and it's more in depth than that. Like, I
Yeah.
felt like I'm like, "Lord, I sacrificed my house." I'm not saying it needed to be better than that house, but I it didn't look like what I thought it should
Yeah.
look like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm
Yes.
fine with smaller and all that stuff. 'Cause that was our goal. That was a goal in this. We wanted it smaller. We wanted to be mortgage free, the goal of that. We wanted to be able to travel more. And those were all based on convictions, not that it wasn't. So we knew we're not gonna go sell this house and get into another grand house. Like, we knew it's gonna take some sacrifice. But we came across this property and I was just like, no, this isn't the one. And God, little by little, pressed on my heart. And like by the end of the evening, and there was like, this was a piece of property that just came up really, it was like posted that, and it just like fell into our laps, it feels like. And when we got there just to like look around, we didn't have our realtor with us or anything. There was like 3 other people like already looking at that property. So we showed up and I'm like, no. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe we should just try and put in an offer and see what happens. So we put in the offer. We did write a little note because I feel like that always makes it, it's how explaining your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And they accepted our offer. And you guys, so we were under contract before inspection as we were moving into my in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
So there was hope there. I'm like, oh, okay, I got this. So when I moved in, like, I'm like, oh, this is going to be enjoyable. I'm going to have extra help with the kids and everything. So my headspace in the very beginning of this whole journey, I was looking forward to being displaced for a little bit because I had something else to look forward to.
Mm.
Well, come to find out, we did inspections and everything. Y'all, this house was a wreck. Like, it was, when I say there was red flags, I mean red flags. There was mold. There was water damage. There was termite damage. It's like part of it's in a little bit of a flood zone, but we liked the piece of property and all this stuff. And I was just like, no, this is an easy no. But I'm telling you, God kept giving us little winks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Lord, why do you want us here? Like, no.
Nobody else would be buying this house with all these red flags.
No, this is like, it doesn't make sense. And this was a hard time. So we felt like God was like pressing a little bit on that. And like, it just didn't make sense. None of this made sense to any of our family and friends. Like, what are you guys doing? So I was like, kind of like battling that. Maybe we are crazy. Like, what are we doing to our kids? Like, oh my gosh. So we went through the inspection period, so many red flags, and we had to extend that inspection period because me and JJ just needed more clarity. So I will say, like, the very last day that we had to make our decision whether we really wanted to tackle this, because obviously we were going to have to renovate a lot. It was the very last day, and God speaks to me, but it's never through dreams. It's never has been through dreams. But I was like, right then and there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be an easy no. But I'm like, but Lord, if you got to give us something for us to say yes. So it was that night's sleep. I just felt God say, just go for it. So like, we woke up and we're like, okay, I guess we're doing this. So we said yes to this dang property.
The people who sold it are like,
What are they thinking?
they're like, we got them.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. To get a little bit deeper, not only did it come with all these problems, you guys, it was a manufactured home.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through this like foundation to this, and like God made me realize like there's so much pride in my heart. So like through this, there's been such a purification of so many things. The picture's so much bigger. But yeah, we said yes to it, and after that, it took a long time to renovate. Hence why we were with my in-laws for six months.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures of it and it looks beautiful. You would not even know it was a manufactured home. Truly, like kitchen goals, I'm envious.
Oh,
Like, it's beautiful now,
yeah.
Sandra, and what you're doing with your kids on the property. It looks so they can run and
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. It's just those acts of faith. It's like stepping into those acts is never something we would do ourselves. I would never have been a homeschool mom. I don't ever want to do that.
Mhm.
Like, I would never probably be a stay-at-home mom. You guys probably wouldn't be sitting here stuff. I know
No.
you. I know you. You would not sign yourself up for a podcast.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's always the things that, like,
It's the things that make you uncomfortable and challenge you that God asks you to do.
yeah,
Things out of your comfort zone because He wants to grow you and stretch you. It's never like, oh, I can do this. Like, yeah, I can do that. No. It's always the things that sound
you're like, "No,
ridiculous.
I don't
And
wanna."
people think you're crazy for doing. You're
But
like, yes, Lord, okay.
that's the question, like, can you pursue a conviction
Mhm.
without knowing what's next? Or, that's really what we were walking in. We really
Mhm.
had no idea. But God is so good, like, along the way, I just think about it now. Well, thinking about this podcast, it made me relook at just some of my journal writing that I would
Mhm.
like entries. Oh, man, I was weak. I was so weak just, like, several months ago, like, so weak. Like, I look like one of the palms, like, I feel like Psalms, like, you're just, like, weak before the Lord. But God really was showing up little by little, and I was just, like, holding on to those little God winks, like, with the property, not only did I have that dream, but, we were clinging to that Isaiah verse, and little things got me through, like, opening up the shed door, there was a
Mhm.
huge eagle on the
Oh,
thing, so God was guiding us through this
Yes.
little
yes.
by little. He's so good like that.
I love those little
I love the
moments when
God
you're like,
winks.
I know it's you, God. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
like, we
I love
need
that.
that,
Yes,
like,
yes.
It's
yeah.
the encouragement and, like,
Mhm.
the just assurance, like, "Oh, you are. This is
Yeah.
right." Yeah. Is there any other God wink that you can think
It's
of that
always like I feel like he knows. He sends either the right person to just, like, give you a
Mhm.
little bit of encouragement.
Mm.
It's always in the weakness, and, like, one of the things I feel pressed to share in all of this, um, was it's such being weak before the Lord is not like it's a very sacred thing,
Mhm.
actually. It's holy. It's a beautiful thing, and I feel like, as believers, we're always like, "I'm gonna pray for strength for you. I'm gonna pray for
Mhm.
strength." And I'm like and there was, like, a wise friend who, like, put it this way, like, "No, I'm gonna pray for you to be weak before the Lord."
Mhm.
Mm.
Like, how good is that perspective? Like, being weak before the Lord is such a holy and sacred thing. If you it's all throughout the Bible too, like the woman who grabbed onto his robe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'm looking at, like, all these big moments and especially this house thing. I mean, God was moving. I was so weak in that time, but that is such a beautiful thing when I think about it because he was doing something inside my heart that
Mhm.
no other way could he have grabbed me that way. And, like, there was just such a revival in my heart where, like, so much purification happened, so, within those weak moments, and it let me see it more clearly of what God needed to do in my
Mhm.
heart.
Mhm.
So I'm always now my perspective change of, like, being weak is such a beautiful thing, and those good testimonies, I'm not saying this is a huge testimony, but, like, what those good moments hurt.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What God uses hurts everybody.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right? Like, it's uncomfortable, it hurts bad. A lot of the good testimonies that we hear even in sermons and stuff like that, like, who these people who are just changing lives radically, all come from a lot of hurt,
Mhm.
weak moments
Yes.
before the Lord. A lot of weak moments.
It's in those weak moments where we have to rely and trust on Him,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we tend to seek Him more in those moments.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the verses that I just have been clinging to, it's in Second Corinthians, and it says, "Through suffering, our bodies continue to share the death of Jesus,
Mm.
Mm.
so that the life of Jesus may also be seen in our bodies."
Mhm.
Like, that weakness, that suffering, it's actually such an honor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such an honor. So, like, thinking of it that way, I'm like, "All right, Lord, I did my weak stuff. Now you can, like, move me on." But, like, what if you now I gotta be careful with my prayers.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say these
But
21 prayer fasts are scary.
It's like you're like, "Oh, I don't know about that."
you gotta buckle up. But, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do a
No,
21-day
yeah.
prayer fast to, like, have all this conviction and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. But we do go in now. I'm just like, "All right, Lord, let's see what you're gonna do. Let's do another life change," because it's not
Yeah.
something we would sign up with. But yeah.
I think the key in it is, if it's not a fast, just being open to what God has for you,
Mm,
being intentional in your prayers and being intentional in your relationship with Him because it's really hard to hear God and know what He's asking you to do if you're not actually taking that time to spend with Him in prayer and in His
Mhm.
Word. And also, you were talking about, seeing these little God winks. And that's another thing. It's hard to see them if we're not actually taking the time to see it. If we're
mm,
always doing other things and we're not taking those moments, we can't always see the winks that He's given us through those
yeah.
times. So, making sure our hearts are open to what He has for us all the time.
Right.
Yes.
His hands in everything.
Yes.
And
It truly is.
it's so beautiful when you're so focused on looking for it. Then you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, you're always around."
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
He's so good, and I'm just learning more than ever, he is a very jealous God.
Mhm.
Mhm.
He wants our full heart, he wants our
Mhm.
devotion,
Mhm.
and, like, I just got this visual where during this whole process, like, yeah, our lake house, it was large, it was beautiful, it was so beautiful on the outside,
Mhm.
but God knew that there was some things in my heart on the inside that needed to be worked on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
He same with JJ's, just, like, in so many ways. So, like, it was beautiful on the outside, but there were some heart changes that needed to happen on the inside, and this new piece of property, we were able to really work on it from the inside. We haven't even touched the outside yet. It's all on the inside, so our firm foundation doesn't come from, like, all this stuff on the outside. It's just such a beautiful representation when I think about it, where being open to those changes because God knows what's truly best for
Mhm.
us and what's gonna grow deeper, not only in our character, but our eyes for Him.
Mhm.
And Steph, you said it so good about seeking God, because I feel like that's all He ever wants. He wants our
Yeah.
heart. He wants us. He's a very jealous God.
Mhm.
And I feel like our foundation was in Him, but it is so much stronger now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so much stronger. It has bonded me and JJ. I mean, it just the sense of God's love is on a different level that, again, I couldn't have even imagined for us without going through this.
Yeah. What are some other ways that you've seen God move through it?
Oh my gosh.
Because it's your marriage.
So I know it's
It's
through
yeah.
me, yeah. So a lot of it, what I'm talking about is like stuff in my heart, the purification and stuff, and just the character building. But I take a step back and I'm like, I'm starting to see the assignment.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Now that we've been in the house for a handful of months now, I'm starting to get to know some of the neighbors. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm starting to see the assignment. Well, we started going to the other campus now, the Suncoast campus.
Mhm.
And I would have never gone there, if it wasn't for this move to
Mhm.
this area. So now we're really feeling called to help with that, you know, being planted there and help launching that.
Mhm.
So there's God in all of it. And like definitely the neighbors, us being able to just give back in ways that I just never thought we'd be able to give back.
Mhm.
Um, the neighborhood alone, I just feel a sense of, like, priority to pray for that neighborhood every time I'm driving through. And, like, I don't know if I told you this or not, Steph, but whenever we were first looking in that area, like, part of being able to get into our new neighborhood, there you had to pass, like, this little psychic place.
Mhm.
And I was just like, "No, no, 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 no." I'm like, I'm like, I don't wanna pass through that every single time. So it was the first day that we even stepped foot in that neighborhood, I am rebuking that place. I'm like, "Nope, in the name of Jesus, no, I refuse." Like, I was praying for that. I was praying for that place. Before we closed on that property, that thing was sold and gone. So, like, it was gone. It
Yeah.
posted for sale, they were out of there. And I'm just like, "God, look at you, you're so good." But it takes work from us, but, like, we
Yeah.
have authority in the name of Jesus.
Oh, I love
So
that.
it's just cool to see, like, the authority that we have, like, it's so much bigger than, like, our heart. I'm looking at the bigger picture, and I'm already seeing some neighbors that I really need to love on.
Yeah.
So, like, it's so much more this picture's so much more than about me and JJ, actually taking the sacrifice of walking through this. Little by little, I just feel like he's starting to open our eyes at more of the reasoning behind it, but there's still weak moments,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
I can be weak before the Lord.
Yes. Well, there's always room for us to grow and
Yeah.
be
Just
stretched. We're not perfect. We're never going to be. So I feel like it's this constant process where God's like, okay, we worked on that a little bit. Now we're going to work on this a little bit. And just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
there's always a place where we can be more like Jesus. And I feel like all these challenges that we go through are just ways that he helps us get closer to being more like Jesus
Mhm.
Yeah.
and being closer to him.
Yeah. And we don't see the big picture right away. Like, we all pray for our children's hearts to be rooted in him. What is that going to take?
Yeah.
Could it take a lot of sacrifice from us or someone else or
Mhm.
something happen?
Yeah.
We don't know.
No, we don't.
But we have to just walk through that and be bold in that and trust in that. Whatever that's going to look like. I pray my kids know Jesus and can sense in such very tangible ways at a young age. So, like, he's going to honor those prayers, but it might take a lot of hurt. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
Yep. And when it happens, when I'm like, oh,
Oh, man.
Just
oh,
before the Lord. I feel like I have no control of this.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. 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 So, yeah.
yeah,
We're gonna
just trust him through it.
Yes.
Those acts of faith, it's all about trust, the
It
conviction and the
is.
obedience through it.
It is. You're so right. Was there anything else that you'd like to share for someone that maybe they know that God has been asking them to do something, but they're still a little hesitant? They're not sure. What would you say to?
Always, always, always pursue convictions. Do not sit on it. Um, it's God's will. It's not, I mean, you're going to battle your will versus God's will, but each conviction that I've walked through boldly is always about the kingdom. It's
Mhm.
always about something so much more. And as hard as it can be, there is so much fruit that can come from that.
Mm.
And there's no other way for you to draw closer to God than to abide in those convictions.
That's good.
So if you have a little stirring in your heart, and I always get a lot of moms talk to me about, like, I'm not sure if I should homeschool or not. I mean, I feel a little something. Like, if you feel anything inside,
Mhm.
you need to really pray, and that's probably a conviction of God. That's your answer. So a
Yeah.
lot of times, if you're feeling anything, any type of like that, I'm always just like, follow through, follow through.
Yeah.
So follow through.
It's the thing, even when people think you're crazy.
Oh, I'm telling you, I mean, it was a hard thing. I mean, our family thought we were just, like, not making the wisest choice and everything, especially going from, like, this big, beautiful home to a manufactured home. Yes, it has beautiful property and all of that, but it was still a lot.
Yeah.
Is that a wise decision?
Mhm.
So, it was a battle, but I'm still clinging to that conviction. Lord, you brought us here.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that's like a daily thing for me. I'm like, you brought us here.
Mhm.
Yes.
May your will be done.
Mhm. So often, man, like you're saying, God sees the whole picture, man doesn't. And so, what we think is crazy, He's like, ha ha, I know what's happening. This is not crazy because this is what's
Mhm.
going to happen. And so,
Mhm.
that's why it's really important to listen to the Holy Spirit and what He's wanting you to do. And even though there may be other people saying, no, no, like you shouldn't do that, that's
Yes.
not wise. Well, God knows all and He knows what's in your future. And so we have to trust Him and His plan for our lives. So
Yeah.
it's very hard to do that when others might be saying differently.
And that's why it's first you gotta seek God first.
Mhm.
You have to be in relationship with him because he will guide you. Other people, yes, he'll use, but it can really alter your mind
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
some ways. I mean, you talk to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But more than ever, that Matthew 6:33 verse, seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need.
Mhm.
And, like, in this season where I'm at right now, after all this has been done, I mean, it's still just pressing on my heart to keep seeking God. He wants our heart. He wants, like, all the serving, all the sacrificial stuff, like, all this stuff. Like, we're good at being in community. We're good at serving God. But if I'm he wants my whole heart, and, like, that a lot of that has to do with just seeking him. That's
Mhm.
all he wants. And, like, that visual of one day being in heaven, we're face to face with Jesus, and yeah, he'll say, "Good, faithful servant, you did well, but I didn't know you. I didn't know your heart." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, that just, like, for me is, like, a good motivator, like, okay, he wants all me. He's a very jealous God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aw,
I love that,
so
Sandra.
good.
And
Thank
you
you.
have, it seems though you gained a lot of peace from following his work.
Mm.
Like you would have had so much less peace living in your big, beautiful house
It's
had you
true.
not followed the conviction. So now you actually can have the most ever because
There's
not only is like,
Mhm.
your soul is at peace because you
mm,
know that you followed what God
it
wanted you to
is.
do.
Yeah, it's like that verse, you can gain the whole world but lose your soul. Like, I don't mean to be prideful of, like, where we were, like, it was a beautiful house, and, like, we were still living righteously,
Right.
but, like, I don't think I would have gone deeper, as deep as I've been or as intimate with God. There's no way.
Right.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
And God knows my prayers. He knew how deep I wanna be with him and my children. So, sometimes it takes stuff like this, like, for those fruits.
You had
We
like a
gotta trust in
remodeling
him.
of your heart. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yes.
it. See, that's yeah, that's it's just all his doing.
Wait.
We just gotta say yes to it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes, we do. We do. Aw, this was beautiful. Thank you for sharing all
Yeah,
that.
thank you, Sandra. You
I didn't cry or anything.
We didn't have to break out the tissues.
yeah.
That was fun. But before we go, we have a favorites question for you.
Okay.
So I obviously you love reading the Bible and Bible verses, but I know you love worship too. So question is, what is your favorite worship song right now?
Ooh. Oh, dang, there's so many. But, as I was, like, kinda just thinking about, being on this podcast and everything, and I had to obviously prep some. I can't just be scatterbrained. I'm not fully spirit-led yet, hopefully, it's just, like, showing up. Um, there was that song, Graves into Gardens,
Mhm.
Mhm.
that came on, and I was like, "That was it." Like, it felt like we were, like, done. Like, we were truly in the darkest of dark
Mhm.
times, and, like, he's turning it into the most beautiful garden right now.
Aw.
Love that.
So that came on the other I was worshiping to that song like no other, just lifting Jesus up and praising him, so, yeah, we're
See,
gonna have to listen to
it's a
that.
good song. It's an amazing song.
It
Everybody
is.
go listen to it right
Yes,
now.
yeah.
All right, now you have to sing it. I'm just
Oh my god. Oh gosh.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us on the podcast today. We appreciate you so much. It's so wonderful to have you here. Thanks for listening. We are so glad you joined us.
We hope you'll tune in next week for another great episode.